बघा बघा बघा
राजांनी आता
शिवरायांनी
आता महाराज
The Marathas gave the strongest resistance to the British from gaining control along the Indian coasts. The Marathas, who were under constant attacks from the Mughals, initially had no navy. Shivaji was the first to realize the importance of a strong navy, fighting the African cities who had their base at Moro Janjira and observing the Portuguese naval power along the Konkan coast. Shivaji realized the importance of having an efficient system of ports and strong navy. He ensured sound defense of the forts by constructing them on hillocks overlooking the coast. The Maratha navy soon became stronger and established strongholds in the forts of Kolaba, Sindhudurg, Vijayadurg and Ratnagiri. For more than 40 years, the Marathas held both the Portuguese and the British at bay single-handedly. Under Shivaji, the Maratha navy developed into a ferocious force with more than 500 ships. But after the death of Shivaji in 1680, the Maratha navy became weak. Kanoji Angre took over as the Sarkar, the admiral of the Maratha fleet in 1699. He recaptured all the forts that had been lost by the Maratha navy to the cities. After decisively defeating the cities, he turned his attention to the Portuguese. Kanoji began to attack and capture Portuguese merchant ships that refused to purchase his passports. The Portuguese retaliated but were outnumbered and defeated by the Marathas. Eventually, the Portuguese signed a peace treaty with the Marathas. Having settled the Portuguese front in his favor, Kanoji shifted his attention to the British. The British port in Mumbai was very close to Kanoji's Kolaba fort. The British regarded him as a threat and pursued all his enemies to their side. The British governor Charles Boone and the legendary Sarkar Kanoji fought many battles over a decade and both suffered heavy losses. Finally, in 1724, the Sarkar Kanoji wrote to the British governor William Phillips proposing peace. Both refrained from indulging in any activity that threatened to break the truce. Kanoji thus remained undefeated at sea. A few years after Kanoji Angre's death, the British finally captured the Maratha stronghold, Fort Gheria, the Vijayadurg in 1756, and then on began the decline of the Marathas.